What's up, Monksters? We are back with another video. How was your week, Monksters? Did you guys do anything exciting or fun? Let us know down in the comments below this video. Let's go and see where the family of the monks are. Let's see. Oh, who's first?
Oh, say hi.
Oh, look who's...
Can you wave?
Look who's in the background. Monsters.
Monsters are back in their wheel.
And Raina.
Hi.
Oh man, we're gonna get into today's video. We're excited about today's video. I know we say that for every video, which you guys should be excited for every video. But today's video, I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you guys. And I'm going to tell you guys something that happened to me in my childhood. You don't want to miss this video. You want to watch this video all the way to the end. We talked about in our previous video how we want to do a giveaway every week in the month of August. So we will talk about those specifics towards the end of this video. So stick around and watch this video in its entirety so you'll have a chance to win. We will give you a hint right now. You have to pay attention to the birthday shout outs that we do in this video. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. We really want you here. We really do. Click that notification bell as well so you'll be notified every single time we upload new content. In fact, we're going to do something special for you guys right now. We're going to give you guys 5 awkward seconds to click that subscribe button and click that notification bell, and we're going to start those 5 awkward seconds right about now.
Awkward.
Hopefully you took those 5 awkward seconds to go ahead and click that subscribe button, and we'll subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell, I should say. We absolutely appreciate you for any video that you have watched on our channel, including this one.
You can help us by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, interacting with us. We love when you guys interact with us in the comments. And just thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. We absolutely appreciate you guys. I know we haven't said this in a while, but also comment where you are watching this video from. We want to hear from you guys. Without further ado, DJ, are we ready? We queued up? All right, we good. DJ, go ahead and roll that intro for us. In today's video, we are going to talk about an extremely hot topic, a topic that most people want to sweep under the rug or it's never addressed at all. We know this topic is not popular opinion, but it definitely needs to be more common and it needs to be talked about so it can be addressed properly and effectively.
We are going to be talking about how boys or men can be sexually abused by women and how people will subconsciously or consciously not care.
I won't go into full details of my story. I will save that for the book titled Hush Part 2 that I will be co-authoring in, and that book will come out later this year, God willing. Today I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you, Monksters. I've only told this story to 5 people exactly. I actually counted. But I want to share this story because I want to help bring awareness to these types of stories that have happened and happen sadly every day in the world that we live in. Many of you don't know, but I was sexually abused at the age of 6 or 7. It happened on a family vacation. My family, my mother, my stepbrother and I, we used to always go and visit my stepdad's side of the family. And this particular time, I was sexually abused. It didn't happen before this, it didn't happen after this, but it happened. And I could just remember blocking out like bits and pieces of it. I can remember the story like in bits and pieces. Like it's like scenes in a movie, how I remember it. It's like a flash here, and then it'll be like a blackout, and then it'll be a flash here. Now, what I notice about myself is any traumatic experiences that I had in my childhood, I notice there are parts that are blacked out. And I don't know if that was God blacking them out to protect me or if it was me blacking them out. But either way, given the experience and given everything that happened to me, I am grateful that God, kept me. Either way, I know it was God keeping me, because I could have went far to the extreme, whether it was, sleeping with a ton of women, or I could have went the other way. But I'm just grateful that even in my sexual abuse, God still kept me. He kept my mind. My mind was, sound. I had a sound mind. My mind was clear. I was able to function. I did have some scenarios and situations where you see, okay, I went on a downward spiral in some areas, but nothing to the extreme. But nevertheless, I still did go on a downward spiral, mix in pornography and a whole bunch of other stuff, generational curses, generational iniquities. You mix that stuff in, and yeah, needless to say, I'm not perfect. I know that people are looking at me and they be like, oh, you got it all together. I didn't always have it all together, and I'm still a work in progress. I remember having a talk with my uncle, and when we were leading up to my cousin's funeral where I did the eulogy, and he was like, man, you are human, because we were sharing stories, but I thought that was funny. And then I remember the youth one time was like, Pastor Hoy, you always, and I'm like, no, I ain't always been a person that's standing in front of you right now. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my story, like I said, not in detail, but I definitely want to bring awareness to things of this nature and of this matter. You'll find that this is more common than is talked about, especially among men, or boys, I should say. Boys, for sure. Society will tell us that it's okay for an older girl or an older woman to do something to you, to touch you in a manner sexually, to convince you to do something with them in a sexual manner, for you to touch them in a sexual way, whatever the guidelines or whatever the stipulations or whatever happens. And there are so many boys, young boys like myself, that never said anything. They never told their parents. They never told, family. And if they did, then they were probably ridiculed, talked about, or said, okay, what does that matter? I mean, why are you telling me? That's a good thing. But it's really not. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a scenario where you don't want to do something and somebody that's older takes advantage of you, it's no different than if, a guy takes advantage of a girl and, rape or something like that happens, or molestation happens, or, the other term is sexual abuse. Any of those things can happen. But we need to start looking at it in the same vein and in the same light how we look at it for women. A lot of times men are just told to toughen up, get it together, that shouldn't bother you, etc., etc. A lot of times people forget that we are human. We have emotions too. We should be able to effectively and properly express our emotions and not taught to suppress our emotions.
So with his experience, and he told me this a long time ago, so I was aware, obviously we parent a particular way, and we may be what you would call helicopter parents.
Yeah.
Because we really want to prevent that from happening to them. Like, I'm mad about what happened to him. I mean, I have no idea who the person is or ever seen them or met them. But, like, physically, it makes me really mad that someone did that to him, especially as a child. I wasn't even born when that happened. I might have been a baby.
Yeah.
But it's like, it bothers me so much that older people can take advantage, or even though the person that did this to him was most likely done to them as well.
Facts.
I don't know their story.
Facts.
But it's like, you never know what people have been through. So it's like, if I was to leave my kid with someone, I don't know what they've been through. I don't know what they're into. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very overprotective. We just really want to keep them from experiencing the same things that their dad went through.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, I know this is on the topic of men though, so it's crazy how many people have experienced. And it might not even be like family, it could be a stranger. You know, someone, or even in school. Because I've experienced it in school. You know, maybe someone's touched you at school or whatever. It's crazy.
And that's the crazy thing. Nobody has a right to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody has permission to do what they want to do to you unless you give them permission. But as a child, you're not even in the right state of mind to consciously make a decision to say, yes, I give you permission to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
One of the most irritating things that I hear when it comes to predators and offenders, and I'm getting off topic a little bit, addressing the women's side, but it could be even boys' side too, is, oh, well, they shouldn't have wore that. They shouldn't have been dressed like that. You know, dressing like a woman, and it, you know, made me want them. Like, come on now. Like, we just have to do better.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it really boils down to. Like, to me, I don't care how you try to spin it. I don't care how you try to flip it. You know, it's sick to me.
It is.
For you to, you know, to prey on somebody, you know, that's young, that's a child. Like Raina said a little while ago, she was probably, you know, responding, or she was probably doing something that she had experienced with me by somebody who could have been an older guy, could have been an older woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's sad to say. I often think about that. Like, I thank God that I'm healed. I thank God that I'm fine, you know, in Jesus' name. Like I said, right state of mind, so I praise God He kept me.
Mm-hmm.
I really think about, what has she been through? What has she experienced? How did she even know to do something like that, or know what she likes? You know what I'm saying? How does she even know anything like that? This is not an adult that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that she was way older than me, maybe like a teenager, but until I'm talking to my mom about it, which I'll get to next, come to find out she was about 4 years older than me. So she would have been 10 or 11. So what has she experienced? And then who is the originator that affected her, which in turn affected me? But then also, how many other children and other people were affected by this one person? And when did the change start?
And how far back does it go? They could have been a victim too, so it's like a...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, how far back? That's the things that I think about when I think about my scenario, my situation.
And I didn't start thinking about that until recently, because I was just mad.
Yeah.
Like, I was mad at her, but yeah, you can be mad at that person, but when you don't know what they experienced, I mean, how can you really be that mad at them?
Yeah, because I'm not mad
she
at her.
wasn't grown.
Yeah.
If it was a grown up, then yeah.
But
sorry.
still,
you can go to therapy. You can take yourself to therapy by this point. So it's like, you need to get the help you need. But like, as a child, she doesn't have that option. So you can't really be mad at the child because she can't take herself to therapy.
But I actually, in my story, without getting too much into it, I actually talk about that and write my story.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I needed help in certain areas subconsciously. So if you don't recognize and realize that you need help, and it's just a normal or it's just a pattern, then now it's like there's no need. I don't need help because I don't see the problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? It could have been something normal. So that's why I say, even if they're adult, and trust me, I'm in no way defending any sexual predators, man or woman, at all.
No.
I'm trying to look at it from a lens as being somebody who was sexually abused. I'm trying to look at it from a lens of What happened to them that made them to do this? Of course, you can say demonically influenced, but then there's also the natural side of it. Did somebody touch them? Did somebody do something to them? X, Y, and Z, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm looking at it from like, okay, what happened? Not justifying, but what happened that triggered this? And then how many people have been affected by this, and how far back does it go? Yeah. That's what I just think about. I could be mad all day. But I don't hold no grudges. If I saw her to this day, which I haven't seen her in probably like 25 plus years, but if I had saw her to this day, I still greet her, wouldn't have nothing against her. But it's like, that's what we have to address as people. That's what we have to address as, parents, just human beings. Where's the root of it? Fix the root of it, sever the root, cut it off, fix it. Get to the bottom of it. Protect children, protect, anybody who needs help, need it, because a lot of times there are people out here who subconsciously are dealing with things, they are subconsciously handling things, and things are affecting them subconsciously, and they don't even realize that they need help. So this is the difficulty of telling I call her Ma, but this the difficulty of telling her this. I told her the story years ago, but she didn't remember, so I just told my mom recently, because when the book comes out, I didn't want her to be blindsided by anything, because I know that could be a lot for a parent to take in, finding out 30-something years later that your child was sexually abused, or if they were molested, or if they were raped, and telling her that we had a great conversation about it. She said she didn't remember, of course, but I told her about it. We talked about it. We talked about some of the stuff that I'm talking about right now. We talked about those same things, what happened to that person, that they did this and X, Y, and Z. And this is no condemnation to my mom or parents or anybody else that was in my life, because my mom is phenomenal. She is awesome. Trust me, if she had known, my mom would have done something. But I didn't tell her.
She was a different person back then, so
yes.
It wouldn't have went well for that person.
She wasn't saved, sanctified, and holy, and filled with the Holy Ghost. She wasn't always the my mom that you see in the video, happy-go-lucky and stuff like that. That's a different Tina. But so many children in my case. Well, in my particular case, I'm gonna speak for my case. I can't speak for nobody else. Society, family, friends, anybody would tell me that I would have been wrong in sharing. Not my mom, because my mom definitely told me that if anybody, she always stressed that to me, if anybody touches you, boy, you let me know. But society, and you can mix family and friends in there, will have me believe, and I'm not saying anybody specifically said this, but it will have you to believe that it's okay because she was an older girl. It's okay because she was an older woman. It's like a badge of honor. Truthfully, it's like a goal. Oh, if I could, especially when you become a teenager, you're like, oh, if I could sleep with an older girl, I'm the man, and blah, blah, blah. But that's what society and people and other people will try to condition you to believe. So now, granted, if it had been guy on guy, now I know. There are some guys who have not told their story, but in my mind, I was already thinking, okay, if a guy tried to do something, yeah, I say something. But it's like, because it was a girl, because it was the opposite sex, it was almost like, okay, society will have you believing that it's okay for you to do that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. I agree. That's why I believe God is leading me to bring awareness to this, because, like I said earlier, nobody has permission to do anything to you that you do not allow them to do to you. And if you're a child, you are not old enough to even make a decision to give them permission to do something to you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to stress that. Yeah, it was cool. Then my mom, in the days after, just thinking back on it, having time to reflect, and it was a little difficult for her, which I couldn't imagine. God forbid, I couldn't imagine finding out anything like that. And then you have to unpack these things as a parent, and you're like, okay, this happened. Basically, you feel like this happened on my watch. You know what I'm saying? Even though my mom wasn't even around, she was asleep somewhere, it was nighttime when it happened. So it wasn't her fault at all. I don't fault my mother at all. I told you, my mom was amazing. My mom made sure I had an awesome childhood. People said I was spoiled growing up. Hey, call it what you want it. But my mom made sure I had the best of the best. So I ain't got no knocks. I couldn't have prayed for a better mom. I'm grateful that that is my mother. And like I was saying earlier, I believe that the time is now, at least for me, and God, lead me to share my story. It's sad that this conversation needs to be had, but it definitely needs to be had. This conversation should have been a more common conversation, because I know, like me, there are so many young boys that have dealt with stuff like this all across the world, not even in just America. So I just wanted to, like I said earlier, I want to bring awareness, as I believe God is leading me to bring awareness to this topic, because it's a very serious topic. We see so many emotionally unstable men out here because of things that have happened to them as boys. And they have been told to suppress their feelings. They have been told to basically forget their feelings. You don't have time to be weak. You don't have time to pout. Well, we don't do whining, but you don't have time to cry.
Yeah.
Or one of the most common phrases that I hear, that and it gets under my skin, when people say, when you ask somebody how they're doing, and they'll say, well, don't make sense complaining about it, don't nobody want to listen anyway. Like, it's sad that people feel like they do not have people to talk to. Like, you should always, go ahead.
I'm saying it's healthy though, let it out.
You should always have somebody to talk to. If you know us personally, you can always reach out to us. We will listen, we will pray with you, you name it. But how many people, and it breaks my heart when I think about it, how many people out there, they realize, they just think like, I don't have anybody to talk to. There's so many people who have committed suicide because they felt alone. Like, that just breaks my heart, that people feel like there's nobody that'll listen. It don't make sense for me to talk about my feelings or talk about my emotions or talk about what I'm going through because no one will listen. Like, we need to really check ourselves as human beings and look at the people in our lives and say, am I somebody that somebody feels like they can listen? I mean, they can tell their problems to? Am I somebody that people want to reach out to and say, you know what, man, I need some prayer? Or, you got an ear, can I talk to you for a second? You never know what you are saving somebody from by just listening. Not talking, not trying to give them the top 10 tips to break this, blah, blah, blah. None of that. Just listening. And if you're on that, and you walk with God like that, praying with him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, and then people don't have to tell you stuff. Just pray for people in general. We pray for people all the time. They don't even know it. We pray for people. You know what I'm saying? We have to just become better at genuinely loving ourselves, because it starts with ourselves, and then translating that love to others, genuinely loving other people, showing an interest in somebody else, investing in somebody else, caring about somebody else. It's not just about you. I know it's not just about me. It's not. I'd be a fool, and I ain't calling nobody else no fool. I'm saying myself. I'd be a fool if I thought it was just about me. If I thought that this YouTube channel was about me. It's not. How else are we going to deposit a little bit more faith, hope, and love in the world if we make it about us? It's not going to work. We have to genuinely care for other people. And not just on this channel, in everyday life. Life is too short. It's too short. We have found that to be so true over these last 2 years. It is too short for you not to invest, value, care, love, and appreciate somebody while they are here to receive it. Don't do it at their funeral. Do it while they got breath in their body. We just got to be better. I talked about this at the eulogy. This world will never be perfect. It's not heaven. But we can make it better if we are willing to be the change that it needs. That's what it really boils down to. Stop you, or me. Stop all of that. Yes, take care of yourself. I ain't telling you to put 1,000 people in front of yourself. You got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you ain't going to have nothing to give nobody else. But we need to make an effort to truly invest in others and be there for them. Because even in my story, I'm not looking for no justice. I'm not looking for no reparations towards, my offender. I just want to bring awareness. I'm just being honest. I just want to bring awareness. I want to help somebody else. I want to help that person that feels like they're alone, that they can't talk to nobody, or they're afraid to tell their story. I definitely want to talk to that person.
Even if whoever watches this, you've been through it and you have no one to talk to, you can talk to us. We're here.
However, you can reach out to us, on one of our social medias, DM, message. If a message look legit, I'll read it. I ain't gonna lie. But if it looks like some spam or some links or something attached to it, I ain't reading it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But I can tell when somebody is genuinely, they reach out and say, okay, can you pray for me, XYZ? You don't even have to tell me what I'm praying for. I can pray a general prayer.
Yeah.
But just know that we'll listen if you need somebody to talk to. Now, granted, when we get to a 10,000, 100,000 subscriber, million subscribers, we can't talk to everybody at one time. We'll talk to as many people as we can.
It'll take us a while then.
Right. And I believe that God is leading me to tell this story now, because I am going to be on a podcast on Monday. I'm going to be on a Facebook Live on Tuesday. I already told y'all I'm going to be in a book. And then I've just been seeing so many posts about it, and people have been asking questions about it. What do men do? Are men, how do they handle being sexually abused and stuff like that? So God is confirming that this is something that he has for me to talk about in this season. And maybe I wasn't ready to talk about it earlier, or his timing wasn't right, but his timing has to be perfect. And God knows that he has complete rule and reign in my life to direct it however he wants to go. Whatever he wants to talk about, I'll talk about. I don't mind getting stoned for God. I just ask that he control the stones, because I know everybody ain't gonna like me. I know everybody ain't gonna like us. I'd be a fool to believe that. Jesus said the world hated him first. Of course it's gonna hate us. So I know as we grow, the hate gonna come, etc., etc. But we still love them. That's our job, to love them and keep it moving. So I talked about, I talked about the post, but I also, if y'all notice, y'all look at our videos for the month of June. It was like God was already setting us up for this when we were talking about men's emotional health, their spiritual health, their mental health. It was like God was already preparing us to talk about what he wanted us to talk about, as far as me sharing my story with the world on how, I was sexually abused at the age of 6 or 7. Okay, now we do want to talk about this because this, man, this hits home. I've heard it from my peers growing up. I've heard it from, you name it. I ain't about to throw no names out there. I ain't even throwing no shade, no nothing. But we have to stop telling these boys that it's a badge of honor to sleep with an older woman, to look at it as an accomplishment. We got to stop telling these boys that. We got to stop. We just do. We got to stop celebrating stuff like that to make it fit, appear like it's cool, because it's not. In fact, it's whack, to be honest with you. When you look back at it, when you look at the root of it, what are we really teaching them? So that says, if we tell a boy, it's okay, yeah, the goal is to sleep with an older woman. The goal is to sleep with an older girl. What are we telling them? That if an older girl or older woman comes to them and says, hey, let's have sex, or let's do X, Y, and Z, and they think about that thought, or they think about how society and people have been telling them, oh yeah, that's a badge of honor. Yeah, I'll do it. Not even realizing, without even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? And accepting it because we're supposed to be, with a woman, a man's supposed to be with a woman, etc., etc. But it's cool because my offender is an older woman. I'm getting experience. I feel like, yeah, I'm the man now. Man, that's a bunch of bull. So we really have to stop teaching these boys and celebrating people for wrong things. I'll never be a yes man in anybody's life. If somebody is wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Or I tell somebody, you shouldn't be doing that. I'll do it in love, but I have no problem telling somebody, hey, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Now, if you do that, then after I done told you, I ain't gonna judge you for doing it, but I'm definitely not celebrating. I'm not gonna celebrate it. Dapping you up, give you pounds. Oh yeah, you the man now. What does that even really mean, truthfully? You the man at what? Your life, we should want our lives to be celebrated by God. That should be the standard. Why should that be the standard? Because God will never steer you wrong. Now granted, you got some people who will try not to steer you wrong, but they might not steer you wrong in one area, but something else is a vice for them. Like somebody might say, yeah, don't sleep with them women, wait till marriage. But come over here and hit this lick with me and let's rob this liquor store. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one thing better than the other in God's eyes. A sin is a sin. So that's why I say use God as your guide, as your, as the one who's gonna keep you on track, because he ain't gonna never steer you wrong. Just because some people are struggling with one thing or not struggling with one thing, I don't mean that they're not struggling with something else. We all have struggles, we all have temptations. That's why if I'm dealing with something, I refuse to talk to anybody else about the same thing that I'm dealing with or I'm going through it. That's why the Bible is very clear. It says, get the lodge out of your own eye first before you try to help somebody else. So when I was struggling with sexual sin, when I was struggling with pornography, many of the other many struggles that I had, I would never talk to somebody, oh yeah, what I look like, say, oh yeah, you shouldn't be watching the pornography. But I'm watching it. Come on now. A hypocrite. Make sure you ain't no hypocrite. That's pretty much the last thing that we had. We just need to change the narrative. We do not need to be teaching young boys and young girls too that something is cool. That whole hot girl summing up. No.
And that's even with what you were saying about don't make boys feel like it's cool. If a woman is approaching you, she's like a woman.
Yeah.
That's creepy. She's weird because she's too old. She knows better.
Yep.
But it's like, don't negate how they feel because you might not want to. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing it because people tell you it's cool.
Yeah.
But you don't want to. So that's abuse. Sexual abuse.
Right.
Just don't diminish people's feelings and how their experiences are. If they experienced sexual abuse, be there for them, support them through it, but don't encourage it.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Not in any way.
Like at all.
None of it.
Yeah, period.
None of it.
But yeah, we also want to stop teaching young boys, negating their experiences or overlooking their experiences. Telling them, toughen up or get over it. Like, we're really planting seeds of, it's all kind of bad seeds.
Like a lack of support. They have
lack of support. That's why I say it's a lot of seeds that you're really planting.
Yeah.
Lack of support. Nobody will really listen.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Men are one of, and I'm not saying that women aren't, but men are one of the most targeted genders by the enemy and by society. There are a lot of things that men, as protector, provider, head of the household, you name it, we are told to, our feelings don't matter. Our emotions don't matter. But there are so many men out here that are emotionally unstable. I was one of them. I grew up in the hard knocks of toughen up. Don't nobody, what are you telling me for? You know what I'm saying? So we have to genuinely be, and I'm not this is no knock to nobody, because I'm pretty sure if somebody is behavior, it's something that they learned. They say when you know better, you do better when you know better. You know what I'm saying? So now that I know better, I'm trying to raise my children different. I'm trying to show them the difference between whining and crying. Whining is not acceptable. Yes, you can cry. Show your emotions. What's going on? How can we help you?
Yeah.
I don't have no problem helping you.
Yeah, we're working on the talking with, especially with 3 Stacks, because he talks. It's like, okay, if something is bothering you, use your words. You don't need to whine. Tell me what's wrong, because I don't know when you whine.
Yeah.
So that's something we're working on. I mean, he's almost 3, so it's normal, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But even in that, I'm just honest enough to say, like, I had this conversation with Raina. I say I'm believing God for the patience, you know, because for me, whining is a no-no. Like, it's like, you know, especially if you can talk and you can tell me what's wrong. Now, Dominic, I don't really, you know, he's a baby. But 3 Stacks is approaching 3, and it's like, okay, what are you whining for? You know, not crying. Now, I'll never tell him to not cry, like, say, he bumps his head or he gets hurt or something like that. All right, son, you know, come get a hug. You know, I love you. Let's talk about it. You know, if you want to talk about it. But whining, so I'm just believing God for the grace to deal with that, because I understand the difference between whining and crying. Now, I'm not saying that whining is definitely not acceptable as a man, because it's like, what are you whining for? You know, everybody got problems. Everybody, you know, I'm willing to listen to your problems. I'm willing to help you through them or talk to you. You know, but if you want to stay in that state and you just want to sit there and complain and you want to whine and do X, Y, and Z, well, guess what? I got to pray for you from a distance, because you're obviously not willing to listen at this point in time. You just want to whine about it.
Mm-hmm.
I still love you, you know, but I'm not going to sit there and be in your whining session with you. You know, now if you genuinely say, you know what, let's talk. All right, cool. Let's talk. How can we become better? How can we get better? Et cetera, et cetera. All right? Well, Monsters, we know that was a pretty intense video, but those things need to be said. So we wanted to change up the scenery a little bit and move to the couch. A little more relaxed atmosphere. Well, what do you think about today's video? Also, do you know anyone that has been through something like this? Don't mention their name in the comments, but ask them if they mind watching something and then send them this video. Tell them they can reach out to us privately, and we will be more than happy to pray with them if they need it. All right, so let us know in the comments down below how you like this video. What did you think about this video? Also, our t-shirt challenge is still open. You see, we got our hopefully you can see it. Oh yeah.
Probably can't see me.
Yeah. We got them. Yeah, we matching. Let's go. Now let's get into the subscribers of the week. Dominic, you ready? Dominic, you ready for subscribers of the week?
You gonna see that?
Oh, I summoned him. Okay. Subscribers of the week. We got Everyday Gentleman. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Oh, you say this one because that's your mom. Donica. I ain't gonna mess that up. Miss Donica, we thank you for subscribing to the channel. We absolutely appreciate you. Let's roll right into the birthday shout outs of the week. We got Taj Ewan. Taj is probably one of my arch nemesis from my childhood. She's my cousin, but her and I used to always get into it and go at it. It was a constant roast session for me on how short she was and everything. But couldn't nobody else mess with Taj except for me. No, especially no outsider. All right. Next on that list is my cousin Corey Boswell, awesome coach. He's doing his thing out in Arizona. I hope I say this. How do you say that again?
Moata, I think.
Moata. I hope I didn't mispronounce that, my brother. That's Nayenye's husband. Happy birthday to you. We got Amy Peterson, Byron Johnson, Nicole Love, Sanea, Drayvon, Melissa, Janie, Christine, Key, Frida Hoyles, I hope I said that right, Tiffany Davis, Amila Lauren, Deanna, oh that's D, from Concordia, I believe that is, Vivian Neal, my apologies, Olivia Towns, Queenie Donaldson, Nataki Matthews. I almost brutalized that. Thank you for picking me up. Next we got Sahir, India, Creighton, yep, Richard Lamont Johnson, Philip Lewis, Nigel, right? Yep. Shayla Smith, Alea Somerville, Christy Hammond, Chuck Blair. That's the same person actually on Facebook. Alicia Somerville is the same person as Alea Somerville. We got Spiritual Ebony. We got Erica. We got Emmanuel Thomas. What's up, my brother? We also got Mia Davis. Shout out to my ship sister. Sam Parker, Jeffrey Monk. Candace. You see how this autocorrect spelled this? That's crazy. Candace Sanders. Happy birthday to you. Look how I spelled Sharita. Sharita Kenny, happy birthday. Charles, Tamala, Lanie, sister, which is Sister G, Graciela. And then we got Regina and Jasmine Nixon, Chris Zach, and Ivy Smith. Happy birthday to everybody who celebrated their birthdays from this past Sunday to this Sunday. If we didn't mention you, it's nothing personal, but we believe that you did have an awesome and amazing birthday. And if you guys want to, shout somebody out in the comments and tell them happy birthday so we can tell them happy birthday as well. Now, let's keep things moving. Oh, I guess, is it time for this? Hold on, let's see, is it time? It is time. We want you guys to follow us. We're going to get to that in 1 second. We want you guys to follow us on our two most important social medias, which is Instagram, that is King Hoyu, KINGHOYU.
Miss Jazzy, MRFJAZZYY.
ZZYY, I love it. And TikTok. We have direct links for all of our social media handles down in the description below. But this is why I got excited, because I saw it on our notes. We are going to announce our August challenge. I told you guys earlier, we want to do in August, we want to do a giveaway every single week. I also gave a hint to you guys of what you need to do to follow along so you can follow us. Okay, so we talked about how we are going to do a giveaway every single week of the month of August. So here's for week 1. This is how you could become the winner of the challenge for week 1. The first person that can tell us who was the 5th person that we mentioned in the birthday shout outs. Not only that, there's more. But you have to also tell us the year that Raina and I met. So we need 2 things. 5th person we shouted out on his birthday, on our birthday shout outs for this video, and the year that Raina and I met. First person to tell us in the comments, you will be our winner for the week 1 in August. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes.
Dominic's like all over the place right now.
I'm doubting that you guys will get it. So that's a challenge.
You guys can't say that we didn't tell you what year we met. We have said it multiple times in multiple videos. So you really have to have had rocked with us for a while now, or you can go back and watch it.
I think I know who's going to win, though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're gonna see though. I'm excited. Let's go. For our faithful return amongsters, this is what we want you guys to do. If you guys believe in what we're doing in this channel, deposit a little bit more faith, hope, and love in the world. We want you to ask one person to subscribe to the channel. If you're already invited one person, go ahead and invite one more. We believe in you guys. We thank you guys. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. All right. You know what our goal is? It's to build a community, more importantly, a family of the Monksters. So comment down below if you're going to help us with that. We're about to close our video. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? You ready, 3 Stacks? Dominic, you ready?
You want to come?
You want to close the video?
You want to come say see you later for most
You ready? We want you guys to close our video with us. If you don't know,
Ready?
let this be training ground. We're going to close our videos. If you don't know what to do, if you're sitting next to a monster that knows what to do, they'll coach you through it. You ready? God loves you. We love you. Let's become better. In Jesus' name. And we out.
Hey.
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 Dominic game 1.
Hey. Hey.